Milky Way: How the Internet Works, a calm tech documentary for sleep. Welcome to Sleepy Science Tech Milky Way, a quiet space where technology meets tranquility. As you settle in, find a comfortable position. Take a deep breath. Inhale softly through your nose, and slowly exhale through your mouth. Feel your body relax. Your shoulders lower. Your thoughts begin to drift. Tonight, we'll take a peaceful journey through the invisible pathways of the internet, the quiet web of light, code, and connection that surrounds our entire world. You don't need to stay awake. You don't even need to understand everything. Just listen. Let the words wash over you, like the gentle hum of a server room at night. Long before smartphones rested in our palms, long before glowing screens filled our rooms with light and sound, there existed only a dream that one day minds across the world could connect, share, and communicate as easily as thoughts flowing through a single brain. It was a quiet vision born in the age of typewriters and telephones, nurtured by scientists who saw the potential in linking machines together, not for fun or fame, but for understanding. The world of the 1960s was a very different place. Computers were rare and mysterious. They lived in laboratories and government buildings behind glass walls and locked doors. Each was the size of a car, humming with magnetic tapes and blinking lights. They could solve complex equations and store information, but they were alone, isolated islands of intelligence unable to speak to one another. This isolation bothered researchers. If two computers could exchange data, they thought, imagine how much faster humanity could learn. Imagine if knowledge could travel instantly from one laboratory to another. What if distance no longer mattered? From this spark of curiosity, the first seeds of the internet were planted. In 1962, a visionary engineer named J.C.R. Licklider proposed something he called the Intergalactic Computer Network. The name sounds whimsical, almost playful, but his vision was profound. He imagined a world where everyone could access data and programs from anywhere instantly. He saw computers not as isolated machines, but as tools for connection. This vision reached the ears of the U.S. Department of Defense's Advanced Research Projects Agency, known as ARPA. The Cold War was at its height, and secure communication was vital. Scientists and engineers wanted to build a network that could survive even if part of it was destroyed, a system that could route around damage and still function. Thus, the ARPANET was born, the ancestor of the modern internet. In 1969, 4 enormous computers were connected across the United States. One sat at UCLA in California, another at Stanford Research Institute, a third at the University of California, Santa Barbara, and a fourth at the University of Utah. Together, they formed the first digital conversation in human history. These machines were massive. They filled entire rooms with their humming circuitry. Their memory was measured in kilobytes, not gigabytes, and their power was less than what a modern wristwatch holds. Yet despite their limitations, these 4 machines opened a doorway, a silent, glowing gateway into what would become the digital universe. At first, the communication between them was simple. Messages, data, short programs, nothing extraordinary by today's standards. But for the scientists involved, it was magical. They were witnessing something entirely new, information flowing freely between distant machines. The early engineers needed a way to send information efficiently. They couldn't just stream entire files from one computer to another. The system would be too slow, too fragile. So they invented something revolutionary: packet switching. Packet switching was a method of breaking data into small, manageable pieces called packets. Each packet carried not only a fragment of the message, but also instructions about where it should go and how to reassemble itself when it arrived. Think of it as a letter broken into pieces, each piece sent by a different courier, all destined for the same address. This technique made the network resilient. If one route was blocked or too busy, packets could take alternate paths and still reach their destination. It was a bit like water flowing around rocks in a stream, always finding a way forward no matter the obstacles. It was elegant, efficient, and quietly brilliant. The first real test of this system came one evening in October 1969. Two computers, one at UCLA and one at Stanford, were connected through the ARPANET. A student programmer named Charlie Klein attempted to log in remotely. He typed the first letter, L, then the second. Oh, the system crashed. And so the very first message ever sent over the internet was not a word of triumph or grandeur, it was simply LO. Just two letters, a fragment of a word, but somehow those two letters carried the weight of human history. It was as if the newborn network had spoken its first syllable, a baby's breath in the vast silence of technology. The engineers laughed, fixed the bug, and tried again. But the moment was unforgettable. That small accidental LO became symbolic. It was as though the early internet had whispered a greeting to the world, lo and behold. From those humble beginnings, the dream of connection began to spread. Universities joined the network. Research institutions followed. The number of connected machines grew slowly but steadily, from 4 to dozens, then to hundreds. Each new connection expanded the web of communication, weaving an invisible net across the continent. In those days, the internet wasn't public. It was a tool for scientists and government agencies. But the ideas that powered it, openness, sharing, connection, were universal. The people building the system weren't just engineers, they were visionaries. They believed in a future where knowledge was free, where communication transcended distance, where machines could help humans understand one another. One of those visionaries, Vint Cerf, later called the father of the internet, helped design the protocols that still guide our data today, the TCP/IP system. This framework allowed computers of different types and operating systems to communicate seamlessly, no matter their design. It was like teaching machines a universal language, a digital Esperanto that united them all. With this foundation, networks began to link together. ARPANET connected with other systems, forming a growing web. The dream was no longer confined to labs and universities. By the late 1970s and early 1980s, personal computers began to appear in homes and offices. Hobbyists, students, and small businesses saw the potential of connecting their machines too. The digital web expanded, quietly and persistently, like roots spreading underground. Each connection was another step toward the global village that thinkers like Licklider had imagined decades earlier. Still, few could have predicted how deeply this technology would shape human life. To most people in those early years, the internet was an academic curiosity, something abstract and distant. But beneath the surface, it was growing stronger, faster, and more capable. The early users were explorers in a new world, digital pioneers mapping unseen territories. They experimented with electronic mail, file transfers, and primitive chat systems. They built the first online communities long before social media existed. They created the foundations for what would later become websites, browsers, and the World Wide Web. In the quiet hum of server rooms and the rhythmic blinking of green lights, the future was taking shape. Every message sent across ARPANET carried not only data, but also a sense of wonder. For the first time, information could travel without paper, without physical movement. Ideas could leap from one mind to another through machines that spoke in light and code. The internet wasn't just a technological achievement, it was a human one. It represented our eternal desire to connect, to share, to reach out beyond ourselves. Imagine those early nights in 1969. The lab is dimly lit. The air smells faintly of metal and ozone. The computer's cooling fans whisper in the background. A small team of tired engineers watches a terminal screen flicker to life. Two letters appear, L and O. A crash follows. And yet, in that brief moment, something extraordinary has begun, something that would one day carry the voices of billions. That first LO marked not only the start of a network, but the dawn of a new era of communication. Over the following years, as the ARPANET grew, new protocols and ideas emerged. In 1971, a computer engineer named Ray Tomlinson invented email, an elegant solution for sending messages across the network. His choice of the @ symbol to separate the username from the host computer became one of the most recognizable symbols in the modern world. Email transformed digital communication. Suddenly, people could exchange messages almost instantly without paper or postage. It was faster than letters and more personal than telegrams. In many ways, it foreshadowed the instant messaging and texting we know today. As the network matured, it began to connect more institutions, universities, corporations, even parts of government. Each new node added strength and resilience. The web of connections thickened, becoming more robust, more alive. By the late 1970s, the internet was no longer a small experiment. It had become an indispensable tool for science and research. Yet the general public still knew little about it. Most people had never touched a computer, let alone connected one to another. Then came the personal computer revolution. Affordable machines from companies like Apple, IBM, and Commodore made computing accessible to ordinary people. Home users began to dream of linking their computers to the wider world. Bulletin board systems, BBS, appeared, small, local networks that allowed users to post messages, share files, and communicate. They were like miniature versions of the internet, fueled by phone lines and curiosity. People would dial into these systems with modems, listening to the chirps and beeps of connection, waiting patiently for the world beyond their walls to appear in green text on a black screen. It was slow, noisy, and imperfect, but it was connection, and it was beautiful. This was the internet's adolescence, awkward, experimental, full of potential. Engineers were still perfecting the architecture, still discovering what worked best. But the dream remained the same, to connect everyone everywhere. What began as 4 computers in 1969 had become hundreds, then thousands. By the 1980s, the digital landscape was expanding faster than anyone had imagined. Governments, universities, and private companies all wanted to be part of the network. The internet was no longer a secret. It was becoming a necessity. Still, even then, few could see the full scope of what it would become. The engineers of the 1960s and 1970s couldn't have known that their blinking machines would one day carry video calls between continents, stream symphonies from distant stages, or host billions of interconnected lives through social networks. They were simply building something useful, a system for sharing information. Yet in doing so, they unknowingly created one of humanity's greatest inventions, a global mind made of code and connection. The dream of connection had taken root. The internet was awake. It would soon learn to grow, to adapt, to stretch across oceans and skies. It would become the silent companion of modern life, the invisible thread weaving humanity together. But in that first moment, back in 1969, it was just 4 computers, 4 lines of code, and one simple, beautiful message. Lo. 2 letters that marked the beginning of everything. And from that quiet birth, the hum of connection spread, softly, steadily, eternally. When we think of the internet, we often imagine something floating in the air, an invisible force, a magical web of information that simply exists wherever we go. But the truth is, the internet is made up of very real, very physical connections. Beneath the calm surface of your daily browsing lies an entire world of machines, wires, and light, all working together in perfect harmony to keep humanity connected. Every time you open a browser, send a message, or stream a video, your device quietly reaches out across vast distances to talk to other machines. These machines are called servers, powerful computers designed to store, organize, and send information upon request. When your device asks for a web page, it's like politely requesting a digital meal. The server listens, prepares what you asked for, and serves it back, piece by piece, until the page appears before you. The word server comes from that very idea, serving data. It's an elegant concept, simple and human at its core. And your phone, laptop, or tablet plays the role of the client, patiently waiting for its request to be fulfilled. Together, this quiet dance between client and server forms the foundation of the modern web, the heartbeat of nearly everything you do online. When you click a link or watch a video, data doesn't just appear out of thin air. It travels, moving silently through a labyrinth of routers, switches, and cables. These cables weave through cities, under streets, across mountains, and deep beneath the oceans. That's right, the internet doesn't just live in the airwaves, it's carried by undersea cables that crisscross the floor of every major ocean on Earth. These thick bundles of fiber optic wires are the true arteries of global communication. They stretch for thousands of miles from one continent to another, linking nations in a web of glass and light. Inside these cables, light pulses travel at incredible speeds, almost as fast as light itself, carrying billions of gigabytes of data every second. If you could dive down to the ocean floor and listen closely, you might imagine hearing the faint hum of information flowing through those cables, like whispers of data drifting beneath the waves. That soft, invisible hum carries our collective thoughts, ideas, memories, and stories. Every email, every call, every digital heartbeat travels through these glass veins of light. It's humbling to think about. Beneath the vast, silent oceans, the digital world never sleeps. The floor of the sea, once the quiet domain of nature alone, now carries the lifeblood of civilization, glowing streams of photons flickering in patterns that represent human connection. The ocean floor hums not just with the sound of water and life, but with the pulse of a connected world. Above ground, another kind of landscape keeps the internet alive. Scattered across the planet are massive data centers, enormous buildings filled with rows upon rows of servers. From the outside, they might look plain, industrial, and unassuming, but inside, they are glowing cities of light, sound, and motion. Each server inside these centers is constantly at work, storing emails, photos, documents, websites, and backups of nearly everything we do online. These are the places where your files truly live, even though we like to imagine them floating in the cloud. The term cloud is poetic, but the reality is firmly grounded in steel, glass, and electricity. The cloud isn't in the sky, it's on the ground, inside secure facilities that hum softly day and night. Inside these buildings, the air is cool and carefully controlled. Servers generate heat, and too much heat can be dangerous. To prevent overheating, powerful fans spin continuously, keeping the air flowing gently between the machines. It creates a constant low hum, like a mechanical lullaby. The rhythmic sound of cooling fans and blinking lights can feel almost hypnotic, a steady reminder that even machines can have their own calm pulse. If you could walk between the aisles of one of these centers, you'd see endless rows of blinking LED lights, green, blue, and amber dots twinkling in rhythmic patterns. It feels almost like walking through a digital forest where every flicker of light represents activity, a message being sent, a file being opened, a photo being stored. It's mesmerizing in its serenity, this silent choreography of computation. Every server has a role to play. Some handle video streams, others store data backups, while many manage small but essential tasks, keeping websites online, routing emails, or processing transactions. Together, they form a living network of cooperation. When one server grows tired or full, another takes over seamlessly, ensuring the digital heartbeat never stops. The energy that powers these centers is immense. Some facilities consume enough electricity to power entire towns. Yet engineers and environmental scientists are constantly finding new ways to make them sustainable, using solar panels, hydroelectric power, and even cold ocean water to cool their systems naturally. In the north of Scandinavia, some data centers are built close to icy rivers where the frigid air can be drawn inside to reduce cooling costs. In the deserts of the American Southwest, engineers use reflective panels to deflect sunlight and keep temperatures down. In Iceland, the natural cold and geothermal energy make it a perfect home for quiet, efficient data hubs. These centers form what we call the cloud, the nervous system of the modern world. It's a beautiful irony, something so vast and physical, named after something light and ephemeral. But in many ways it makes sense. The cloud represents more than a location. It's a concept of presence without place, of access without ownership. It's a world where your memories and creations can live beyond the confines of a single machine. When you upload a photo, that image doesn't live in just one server. It's copied and mirrored across multiple data centers around the world. If one center goes offline, another picks up the task instantly, so you never even notice. This redundancy is the internet's way of ensuring permanence, a safety net made of light and logic. Imagine your favorite song stored as tiny patterns of electrical charge and magnetic energy inside one of those machines. At any moment, with a simple tap on your phone, you summon it from thousands of miles away, and it arrives within seconds. The journey it takes from that distant server through routers, switches, and cables is measured in milliseconds, too fast for the human mind to comprehend. Yet it happens continuously, effortlessly, billions of times every day. It's a miracle of engineering that we've come to take for granted. A symphony of light and glass, electricity and air that hums softly beneath the rhythm of human life. And though it feels abstract, invisible, intangible, the internet is deeply rooted in the physical world. It relies on materials, minerals, and energy. The tiny processors in your devices are born from elements mined from the earth: silicon, copper, gold, refined and shaped into chips thinner than a strand of hair. Those chips, in turn, connect you to satellites orbiting miles above and cables stretching across entire oceans. Each component, from the smallest transistor to the largest data center, contributes to the same quiet goal: to keep us connected, to allow knowledge to flow freely, communication to flourish, and creativity to spread across the planet. If you were to visualize this invisible network, you might picture threads of light wrapping gently around the globe, luminous fibers weaving an intricate pattern across land, sea, and sky. Each thread connects lives, families, friends, and strangers. Together, they form the most complex and beautiful tapestry humanity has ever created. And yet, for all its complexity, the internet's essence remains simple: connection. Every pulse of light through a fiber optic cable represents someone reaching out, sharing an idea, a thought, a moment. Each flicker of light beneath the sea is a conversation, a story, or a memory being preserved. The quiet hum of a data center, the whisper of air through cooling fans, the distant vibration of cables beneath the ocean floor, all of it forms a chorus of connection. The internet is, in its own way, a song. A slow, patient melody played in the key of light. When night falls and cities go quiet, the internet doesn't rest. It continues its work, sending emails between time zones, storing dreams in the cloud, carrying signals to distant satellites, and updating the world while we sleep. Somewhere, a server glows softly in the dark, and another takes its place when one grows tired. The invisible threads of the internet never stop moving. They link continents, bridge generations, and tie together human curiosity in a vast web of understanding. They are the unseen architecture of modern life, the silent infrastructure of our collective mind. And just as the human brain never truly sleeps, the internet keeps dreaming, dreaming in data, dreaming in light. When you think of the internet now, perhaps you'll picture it not as something intangible, but as something alive, a gentle, breathing network made of human thought and natural energy. A creation born of curiosity and connection. These invisible threads humming quietly beneath our feet and above our heads remind us that even in the vastness of technology, there is poetry, there is order, there is calm. And in that calm hum, the whole world speaks. The internet, for all its complexity and beauty, has a surprisingly simple foundation. Beneath the glowing screens, the elegant designs, and the endless streams of videos and music lies a language so pure, so minimal that it speaks only in two symbols: 0 and 1. Binary, the digital heartbeat of the modern world. Every connection you make online, every photo you share, every sound you hear, all of it exists because of this quiet, unassuming code. The internet speaks in binary, a language of zeros and ones endlessly flowing through wires, satellites, and airwaves. It's a language without emotion, yet it carries the laughter of children, the warmth of voices, the depth of human imagination. Imagine for a moment that everything around you, this sentence, your favorite song, the memory of a picture stored on your phone, is reduced to a sequence of two possibilities, off and on, 0 and 1. Like a calm ocean of flickering lights, each bit gently switching between darkness and brightness, together forming meaning from simplicity. Every image you see online is made of millions of these bits. Each pixel on your screen, the tiniest square of color, holds its secret within binary form. Red, green, and blue light, each represented by strings of ones and zeros, dance together to paint pictures that feel alive. A video? It's simply thousands of those images, shown one after another, moving fast enough for your eyes to believe they're in motion. Your voice, too, can be captured by the same humble pattern. When you speak, the vibrations in the air are transformed into electrical signals. Those signals are then turned into binary code, tiny fragments of sound frozen in digital form. In milliseconds, they can travel across continents through routers, satellites, and cables, only to reassemble themselves perfectly on someone else's device. It's a kind of digital teleportation, your voice traveling at the speed of light, broken into invisible fragments, then reborn on the other side of the planet. There's something deeply poetic about that. The internet takes the most human things, sound, image, thought, and translates them into the simplest possible code. From complexity, it finds order. From emotion, it extracts structure. It's pure magic, grounded in mathematics. Every binary digit or bit holds potential, a promise that when joined with billions of others, it can create something extraordinary. The gentle flicker of your device's screen right now is the glow of billions of tiny signals, each doing its part in this digital symphony. And yet, binary alone would be chaotic without organization. This is where the internet's structure begins to reveal itself. A structure built on addresses, protocols, and invisible maps that help each packet of information know exactly where to go. Websites, for instance, use something called an IP address, short for Internet Protocol Address. It's a special numerical label that identifies every device connected to the network. Think of it as a unique digital fingerprint. No two devices in the same space share the same one at the same time. When you open a browser and type in a web address like www.sleepeasyinstec.com, something subtle happens. Your computer quietly asks another system, known as the Domain Name System or DNS, to translate that familiar name into its numeric IP address. Just as your phone's contact list turns a name into a phone number, the DNS acts as the internet's address book. Once your device has that number, it knows exactly where to go. Your request begins its journey, moving through a series of routers and switches, digital guides that direct your data along the most efficient path. Imagine a letter leaving your home, passing through many hands, local post offices, regional hubs, airports, until finally it lands in the right mailbox halfway across the world. The internet works much the same way. Your computer sends out a signal, "Please show me this web page." That signal becomes a packet of data carefully wrapped with information about where it came from and where it's going. Routers, acting like digital traffic directors, look at those details and send it onward. Each hop brings it closer to its destination, sometimes through fiber optic cables buried beneath cities, sometimes through undersea cables stretching across oceans. And then, in a fraction of a second, your request arrives at the server, a powerful machine waiting quietly in a data center somewhere in the world. The server processes your request, finds the right information, text, images, code, and begins sending packets back to you. Each packet might take a slightly different route, leaping through different routers, traveling through different countries, passing through layers of digital infrastructure. But every single one knows how to find its way back home. In the blink of an eye, they reach your device, where your browser gently reassembles them piece by piece until the page appears before you. Seamless, instant, and effortless. And just like that, an invisible conversation has taken place between you and a machine thousands of miles away. It's humbling, isn't it? The idea that every click, every scroll, every heartbeat of the internet is really a quiet exchange between computers speaking in binary, carrying packets of light and code through a labyrinth of connections that span the entire world. Every time you send a message, millions of these tiny packets set out on their journey. They pass through dozens, sometimes hundreds of computers, switches, routers, and servers, all working together to ensure that your message reaches exactly where it needs to go. Each packet is labeled with a special number so that even if they travel by different routes, they can be reassembled in perfect order once they arrive. Like pieces of a digital puzzle, they come together seamlessly, your message whole and complete once more. You might not see them or hear them, but they're always moving. Billions of them every second, carrying thoughts, pictures, laughter, and love across the planet. The beauty of the internet is how silent and effortless it feels. You type a word, press send, and the universe of data moves around you, unseen. It's like whispering across the planet and being heard instantly. To make this possible, countless layers of technology work in harmony. There are protocols, rules that define how data should be sent and received. These protocols are like languages within the language of binary, giving structure and meaning to communication. For example, HTTP Hypertext Transfer Protocol is what allows web browsers to communicate with servers. It's the reason you can load a web page, see images, and click links that take you elsewhere. It's a calm, orderly system that governs how your device requests and receives information from the web. Then there's TCP/IP, Transmission Control Protocol, and Internet Protocol, the backbone of data exchange. TCP ensures that packets are delivered correctly, reordering them if they arrive out of sequence. IP decides where those packets should go. Together, they form the invisible framework that keeps the digital world coherent. In many ways, these protocols are like etiquette, quiet, unspoken rules that make sure every interaction happens smoothly and respectfully. They ensure that even as trillions of devices communicate at once, the entire system stays synchronized and stable. What's fascinating is how resilient this system is. The internet was designed to survive disruption. If one route fails, data simply finds another. It's a network that heals itself, adapting, redirecting, always maintaining connection. This adaptability is one reason why the internet feels so natural today. You don't notice it struggling or hesitating. You open an app and it simply works. You stream a video and it flows effortlessly. Underneath that ease, there are thousands of calculations taking place, millions of adjustments made every second to ensure stability. Even the concept of a website is a kind of illusion. What you see on your screen is not stored in one single place. It's assembled in real time from data scattered across many servers. When you open a page, your browser requests the text from one source, images from another, perhaps a video from yet another. Each piece is delivered independently, and your device brings them together seamlessly. It's like listening to an orchestra spread across continents, every instrument playing its part perfectly in time, even though none can see the others. And while this all happens at lightning speed, it's important to remember that the energy moving through these systems is not metaphorical, it's real. Every packet of data is an electrical pulse, a wave of light moving through glass fibers thinner than a human hair. At the smallest scale, those pulses are photons, particles of light carrying your data. They reflect, refract, and travel enormous distances without losing their rhythm. These photons are the true messengers of the internet, the unseen couriers of the digital age. The internet, then, isn't just made of code, it's made of light. Pure, constant, unending light carrying human knowledge from one place to another. It's astonishing to think that all this started from the simple concept of switching between two states, 0 and 1. From that, we've built an entire universe of information, emotion, and imagination. Even as you listen to this, billions of packets are moving invisibly around you, through homes, through cities, across mountains and oceans, each one part of an immense, synchronized system working quietly, flawlessly, so that humanity can share, learn, and connect. This quiet language of zeros and ones, binary, holds within it the story of our species. The story of how we learned to communicate not just with each other, but with the machines we created. How we taught them our words, our images, our memories. And in return, they taught us how to see the world differently, how to look at light and understand it as information. Binary at its core is simplicity born from wonder. Two possibilities, off and on, no and yes, dark and light, combined in endless ways to create everything we know in the digital realm. It is the foundation of technology, of futuristic innovations, of AI discoveries, and of space tech communication. It is the quiet pulse that keeps satellites in touch, keeps data moving, keeps knowledge alive. When you think of the internet, don't imagine something chaotic or noisy. Imagine something calm, like a serene field of light signals moving in perfect harmony. Imagine each bit as a tiny star, part of a vast galaxy of information. Together they illuminate the darkness, bringing connection where there was once silence. This is the language of the web, gentle, precise, unbroken. A universal rhythm of zeros and ones humming softly beneath everything we see, guiding the pulse of our digital universe. It doesn't shout. It doesn't rush. It simply moves always, quietly connecting us all in the calm flow of infinite communication. The human side of technology is often the quietest story told about the internet, the one that hums softly behind the flashing screens, glowing cables, and endless data. Every digital heartbeat begins not with a machine, but with a human thought. A person sitting at a desk, staring at lines of code that look meaningless to most eyes but form the language of our connected world. Behind every search result, every online map, every heartbeat monitor that sends information through a network, there is someone who imagined it, wrote it, tested it, broke it, and then made it better. The people who build the internet are dreamers and tinkerers. They are part scientist, part artist, and part philosopher. Some work in quiet office corners, others from small apartments with a cup of coffee beside them, staring at glowing monitors deep into the night. Each keystroke they make adds a piece to the digital world we now depend on. It's easy to forget that the systems we rely on to communicate, to learn, to survive, were designed line by human hands. Their patience, precision, and imagination shaped what we now call connection. Software engineers, for instance, spend years refining how data flows between devices. They map out paths invisible to the eye, ensuring that billions of messages travel safely across oceans in fractions of a second. They build systems that balance security with freedom, speed with safety, and innovation with responsibility. Their work is like designing an entire universe where rules are written not in physics but in logic and code. They must think about every possibility. What happens if a message fails, if a connection drops, or if a signal travels too slowly? Yet through all the complexity, their goal remains simple: to help the world stay connected, to keep humanity talking to itself through light and sound. When you hold a smartphone in your hand, it's easy to take it for granted. The small, smooth rectangle of glass and metal that knows your voice, your face, your habits. But within that slim device lies more computing power than NASA had during the Apollo moon missions. That's not a metaphor. It's a quiet truth about human progress. In 1969, engineers needed massive computers that filled entire rooms to calculate a spacecraft's trajectory to the moon. Today, a phone resting in your pocket could perform those same calculations effortlessly. 1 billion people now carry what would once have been the most powerful computers on Earth. Technology has not only become smaller, it has become more personal, more human, more integrated into our daily rhythms. The world's data doubles roughly every 2 years. Every photograph uploaded, every video streamed, every email sent, it all becomes part of a vast ocean of digital memory. This ocean isn't chaotic, it's a growing archive of human creativity. The laughter shared in a video call, the stories told through online writing, the artwork rendered in pixels, all of it forms a record of what it means to be alive in the age of information. It's humbling to think that somewhere in the quiet hum of a data center, our collective imagination is stored, billions of dreams translated into light, encoded into the fabric of the internet. As the digital world has expanded, it has become increasingly complex, far too intricate for humans alone to manage. To handle this vastness, we created artificial intelligence and machine learning systems. These systems are the caretakers of the internet, silently watching over its flow, correcting errors, balancing loads, and learning how to improve themselves. AI doesn't sleep. It monitors millions of signals every second, making micro-decisions to keep the network healthy and responsive. In a sense, it's like a digital immune system, identifying problems before they spread, protecting the integrity of global communication without ever drawing attention to itself. These intelligent systems now guide digital traffic the same way lights guide airplanes in the dark. They predict where failures might occur and reroute data around them before anyone notices. They prevent overloads, track energy use, and even help reduce carbon footprints in massive data centers. It's astonishing to realize that as you read an article, watch a video, or listen to a piece of music online, an invisible orchestra of algorithms is working together to make sure it happens seamlessly. This quiet efficiency is the new rhythm of human civilization, the hum of humanity's collective intelligence. In many ways, the internet has evolved beyond being a simple tool. It has become something closer to an organism, a living, breathing network made not of flesh and bone, but of code, fiber, and light. It senses demand, adjusts to it, and grows in response. It heals itself when a cable breaks. It replicates information when data is lost. It even learns from its mistakes. No one person controls it. Instead, it operates as a vast, decentralized collaboration between countless systems and people. Each of us contributes to it simply by being connected. Every photo you upload, every message you send, every idea you share, all become small impulses within this global organism. It's easy to think of machines as cold or unfeeling, but when viewed another way, the internet reflects our collective emotions. It mirrors our curiosity, our empathy, our longing to connect. When someone sends a comforting message to a friend across the world, or when scientists share data that helps save lives, the internet becomes an extension of our compassion. The same technology that moves data also moves hope, kindness, and understanding. It's as if the digital realm has absorbed pieces of human warmth and learned to distribute them quietly, endlessly across the globe. There's a poetic rhythm in how it all functions. Billions of signals moving in perfect harmony, as though guided by an invisible conductor. Each click, each pulse of light traveling through glass fibers adds another note to this endless digital symphony. What's remarkable is how it all began. Not with a grand invention, but with people simply wanting to share ideas faster. From that simple desire came one of the most intricate creations in human history. And now that creation reflects us back to ourselves, the flaws, the beauty, the ingenuity, the constant evolution. The human side of technology is also a story of cooperation. No single person built the internet. It was born from generations of shared discovery. People of different backgrounds, languages, and beliefs, all contributing pieces of themselves to the same invisible structure. The internet may connect machines, but it's built entirely on human collaboration. It reminds us that even in a world of automation and algorithms, unity is still the most powerful code we can write. Yet with progress comes reflection. Engineers often speak about designing systems that are not just efficient, but humane. Technology, at its core, should serve us. It should make life better, calmer, more connected. When we forget that, we risk letting complexity overpower simplicity. That's why modern design focuses not only on speed, but also on calmness, interfaces that are gentle on the eyes, sounds that are not intrusive, devices that feel natural in the hand. This is where science meets mindfulness, the quiet art of making machines that blend into life rather than dominate it. Some of the brightest minds in computer science now focus on ethical design, ensuring that the technology we create mirrors our best intentions, not our worst impulses. They ask important questions. How can we build systems that protect privacy, encourage empathy, and reduce harm? How can AI be used to help rather than replace, to heal rather than exploit? These questions don't have easy answers, but asking them is what makes technology truly human. It's not the perfection of machines that defines progress, but our willingness to guide them with compassion. The deeper you explore the internet's structure, the more it feels like a reflection of the human brain. Neurons connect in complex pathways, passing signals in milliseconds, much like servers exchanging data packets. There are patterns of memory, learning, and adaptation. Some scientists even describe the internet as a global mind, one that grows wiser with every search, every upload, every interaction. If consciousness is awareness shaped by information, then perhaps the internet is humanity's extended consciousness, always learning, always adapting, always reflecting what we value and what we seek. This digital consciousness is still young, still forming. It makes mistakes, forgets things, and sometimes becomes overwhelmed. But so do we. Perhaps that's why the relationship feels symbiotic. We built the internet in our image, and now it grows alongside us. As artificial intelligence evolves, it learns patterns of thought and emotion, understanding not just what we say, but how we feel. Through this quiet partnership, humans and machines are slowly teaching each other new ways to think, to create, and to connect. Technology also carries memory. When a programmer writes a line of code, a piece of their creativity becomes immortal. Decades later, that code might still run somewhere in the background of a system, unnoticed but alive. It's a kind of digital legacy, proof that ideas once given form in data never truly disappear. Every innovation carries echoes of the people who made it possible. The internet, in this sense, is a museum of human thought, constantly expanding, forever unfinished. There's also beauty in knowing that most of the internet's caretakers will never be famous. The engineers who keep it running, the researchers who build new protocols, the technicians who maintain undersea cables, their work happens quietly, without recognition, yet their impact touches billions. It's a reminder that even in the vastness of digital space, humility and dedication still matter. Every unseen contribution adds stability to the whole. The human side of technology is filled with contradictions. It's deeply logical yet profoundly emotional. It requires precision but inspires creativity. It operates on code but thrives on connection. It proves that science and art are not opposites but partners, each feeding the other in an endless loop of invention and wonder. The people who shape technology are in many ways digital storytellers. Instead of ink, they write in code. Instead of paper, they use the endless canvas of cyberspace. And while the machines may hum endlessly, it's the humans behind them who give them purpose. They decide what problems to solve, what limits to push, what dreams to chase. Every new piece of hardware, every update, every innovation begins with curiosity, the simple question, what if? That question has guided humanity for centuries, and now it guides the algorithms that power our modern world. As the internet continues to evolve, it mirrors the complexity of life itself. It learns from failure, celebrates success, and constantly adapts to the needs of its users. It's not static. It breathes, it changes, it grows. And through it all, it remains profoundly human. For behind every flickering light in a server rack, behind every line of elegant code, behind every algorithm that predicts the future, there's someone who simply wanted to make the world a little more connected, a little more efficient, and maybe a little more beautiful. The digital world may seem vast and mechanical, but it is still built on the quiet pulse of human intention. Every connection begins with someone reaching out. Every innovation begins with someone imagining something new. Technology may have given us the ability to communicate instantly, but the desire to connect, that timeless, gentle need to be understood, is what truly powers the internet. The human side of technology is ultimately the story of us. Our triumphs, our mistakes, our endless curiosity, all encoded into a network that never sleeps. And as we continue to build and explore, we are also learning something essential, that progress does not have to be loud, fast, or overwhelming. It can be calm, thoughtful, and kind. The most advanced systems in the world can also be the most peaceful. Perhaps the future of technology will not just be smarter, but softer. more human, more aware of balance and simplicity. In this vision, the internet becomes not just a tool for information, but a mirror of mindfulness, a space where knowledge flows gently, without chaos or noise, where understanding replaces distraction, and where learning feels as natural as breathing. That, at its heart, is what the human side of technology represents. Not just intelligence, but intention. Not just speed, but serenity. The quiet genius of humanity, encoded in light, shared endlessly, humming softly through the wires of the world. When you click on a video, something remarkable happens, quietly, invisibly, effortlessly. A single tap sets off a chain reaction that travels thousands of miles across oceans through cables, satellites, and data centers before the video even begins to play. The entire world seems to move in sync for a fraction of a second, all to deliver that simple act of curiosity. A video, a moment, an idea brought to life. Behind every click, millions of electrical impulses awaken, each carrying a fragment of your request. They pass through your router, into a local network, and then out into the vast expanse of the internet. Like streams joining a river, your data merges with billions of others, flowing through pathways made of glass and light. Every message, every image, every sound is made of light pulses, photons traveling through fiber optic cables at almost the speed of light, carrying meaning from one place to another. The internet doesn't exist in one place, it's everywhere, all at once. And yet, it's also nowhere physical that you can touch. It's not in the air or in the clouds above. It lives in wires, data centers, and the calm hum of servers working quietly in the dark. To keep everything running smoothly, servers across the world collaborate like a team of dancers, each moving gracefully in perfect rhythm. When you request a video, those servers communicate with each other, searching for the closest copy of the file. They analyze location, network congestion, and available bandwidth all in an instant to find the most efficient route. This system is called a Content Delivery Network, or CDN, a vast digital map of mirrored servers spread across continents. A single video might exist in dozens or even hundreds of different locations, each ready to deliver it to viewers in their region. The closer the server is to you, the faster the video loads. The farther away, the longer it takes. The CDN solves that by making distance almost irrelevant. It creates the illusion that everything is nearby, that the world's data lives just around the corner. Every moment, these CDNs hum with quiet purpose. They are the unsung caretakers of the digital age. Even as you sleep, these networks never rest. Information flows continuously, invisible rivers of data connecting billions of people who may never meet. While one side of the planet dreams, the other side creates, uploads, and sends. And the servers, patient and tireless, move those creations from one world of wakefulness to another world of rest. Billions of tiny packets continue their silent dance, carrying text, music, laughter, and thought. Each packet knows where to go. It follows invisible rules written long ago, rules of communication that tell it how to travel, how to arrive, and what to do when it gets there. When all the packets come together, they reassemble perfectly, forming your video, your call, your memory. Each byte of data is a whisper of human connection, a fragment of emotion, curiosity, or imagination. Somewhere, someone uploaded a story. Somewhere else, someone listens. Across the vast distance, light bridges that gap. The hum of machines becomes a heartbeat of civilization. As you imagine this flow, picture the world covered in a web of invisible threads, stretching over mountains, across oceans, deep beneath the surface of the sea. These threads carry every form of human thought, binding us together in ways no one could have imagined just decades ago. The internet's beauty lies in its stillness. Beneath all the activity, there's an elegant calm, a system so vast, yet so organized that it feels like nature itself. Billions of signals move every second, yet there's no chaos, only rhythm. Information rises and falls like tides, moving to the pulse of the planet. And beyond the Earth's surface, satellites orbit high above, quietly beaming data across the globe. Each satellite floats in space like a glowing lantern, sending invisible waves of information down to the surface below. They orbit silently, tirelessly, their paths calculated with delicate precision. These satellites expand the reach of the internet to places where cables cannot go, across deserts, forests, mountains, and vast oceans. They carry connections to remote villages, research stations, and even ships drifting in open water. The signal may be faint, the bandwidth limited, but the connection, the simple ability to reach out, remains powerful. Imagine a small antenna in a quiet desert surrounded by silence and stars. It points to the sky, reaching for a signal traveling thousands of kilometers through the cold emptiness of space. And then, suddenly a flicker of life appears, a message, a stream, a connection. Through that invisible thread, the desert becomes part of the global conversation. The light from these satellites travels through the vacuum of space, crossing distances that defy imagination. It reflects humanity's endless curiosity, our desire to explore and to communicate. Every transmission, every wave of energy carries a trace of human intention, the spark of connection that makes us who we are. These quiet machines in orbit have changed what it means to be connected. No longer are we limited by geography or distance. The internet now belongs not just to cities or countries, but to the entire planet. It wraps the Earth like a digital atmosphere, thin, fragile, and alive with energy. And as technology evolves, space itself becomes part of the network. Satellites are no longer just tools, they are partners in a growing web that merges Earth and sky. Space technology and artificial intelligence work together now, learning how to optimize communication, predict weather patterns, and even provide internet access to those who've never had it before. AI systems can monitor the flow of data in real time, adjusting satellite beams and frequencies with remarkable accuracy. They analyze millions of signals every second, learning from them, refining them, making sure every user, no matter how far away, receives a stable and steady connection. The future of internet communication isn't just faster, it's smarter, more balanced, and more human. AI discoveries help make the global web more sustainable, finding new ways to reduce energy waste, improve speed, and protect the planet. Even the satellites themselves are evolving, designed to be smaller, lighter, and more environmentally conscious. Imagine a constellation of hundreds of satellites orbiting in harmony, forming a glowing mesh around the Earth. Each one communicates with the others, creating a seamless network that wraps around our planet like a protective cocoon of light. No matter where you are, whether on a mountain peak, deep in a forest, or sailing far from shore, the same invisible web reaches you. It's as though the stars themselves have learned to speak. The flow of data between Earth and sky is gentle and continuous. There are no borders, no boundaries, only gradients of connection. Every message sent across this system is part of a shared heartbeat, a signal that hums quietly in the background of modern life. When you send a photo, that image might pass through a local Wi-Fi router, then a network switch, a data center, a fiber cable, a transatlantic line, and finally a satellite relay before reaching another phone thousands of miles away. Yet the entire journey happens in a blink. That's the power of synchronized design. Billions of machines working together without rest, carrying the emotional weight of human life across light. In this dance of technology, data behaves like water. It finds the most efficient path, flowing around obstacles, spreading evenly, balancing itself naturally. Engineers design systems that mimic nature's balance using feedback, self-correction, and prediction to keep everything stable. It's a quiet miracle of science unfolding every moment without fanfare. Even the tiniest packet of data, a simple hello, a few lines of code, a picture of the night sky, carries layers of meaning and energy. It represents creativity, memory, and human thought distilled into light. Billions of these messages weave together to form the tapestry of the internet, each one shimmering briefly before fading into the background of continuous exchange. There is poetry in the infrastructure we often take for granted. Beneath our everyday lives lies a masterpiece of design, a collaboration between light and mathematics, between human hands and invisible code. The cables under the ocean, the towers above cities, the satellites in orbit, and the algorithms guiding the flow, all of it works together in perfect calmness. Sometimes, late at night, the internet feels alive. There's a stillness to it, but also a pulse, as if the entire digital world breathes softly in the dark. Somewhere, someone is waking up. Somewhere else, someone is falling asleep. And in between them, a stream of photons moves gently, carrying a goodnight message, a song, or a memory across the quiet void. If you could listen closely enough beyond the hum of servers and the whisper of routers, you might hear something like the faint heartbeat of humanity, steady, gentle, unbroken. It's the sound of people reaching out again and again in countless directions, bound by invisible light. This is what the internet truly is, not just technology but connection. A vast web of intention and care built to share ideas, laughter, comfort, and knowledge. Every signal, no matter how small, adds to the story of who we are. And so the flow of data continues, from hand to hand, heart to heart, across oceans, through space, and into the cloud. It's a living current of thought, moving endlessly, quietly, eternally. Even when we sleep, it doesn't stop. It keeps flowing, a soft, steady reminder that somewhere, someone is awake, connected, and dreaming just like you. As space technology and AI discoveries continue to blend, they bring not just faster speeds, but a new kind of harmony. The internet of the future will be as calm and natural as the ocean's tide, moving quietly beneath the surface of daily life, connecting us without effort, guiding us without noise. Perhaps one day the internet will extend beyond Earth, reaching the moon, Mars, and beyond. Perhaps the first colony on another planet will send its first message home through a beam of light, another whisper of connection, echoing through space. But even then, the essence will remain the same, billions of quiet exchanges, all born from the simple desire to reach out and share. Light carrying thought, energy carrying emotion, code carrying the story of us all. That is the flow of data, calm, infinite, and alive. Inside the immense halls of modern data centers, the air is cool and deliberate. Every breath of temperature, every whisper of wind is measured with precision. These buildings are unlike any other, designed not for people, but for machines that never sleep. Inside, long corridors stretch endlessly, lined with rows of black server racks. Each rack glows with soft, blinking lights, signals of life from the machines within. The hum that fills the air is steady and constant, a digital heartbeat pulsing through the space. Temperature here is carefully controlled, because heat is the enemy of stability. Servers, though silent and contained, produce warmth as they process information, millions of calculations every second, tiny electrical sparks that combined could overheat the system if not managed properly. Engineers have mastered the art of balance. They create climates that are neither too cold nor too warm, maintaining a perfect equilibrium. Too much heat and servers could fail, too much chill and energy would be wasted. And so, each degree of air, each gust from a cooling fan, is tuned like a note in an endless lullaby of technology. The environment is calm, almost meditative. There are no raised voices here, no rush or panic. Only soft blue light and the faint vibration of machines performing their endless, tireless work. In some centers, artificial intelligence monitors every fluctuation of temperature and power, making micro-adjustments hundreds of times per second. The AI knows when to cool, when to pause, when to redirect air through the aisles. Its movements are invisible, its efficiency absolute. Rows upon rows of blinking LEDs stretch across the room, each light representing a connection, a life, a memory stored safely within. To walk through such a place feels like standing among digital stars, a galaxy created by human hands glowing quietly in the dark. The effect is hypnotic. Each light flickers as information flows in and out, as if the machines are breathing, exhaling streams of invisible data into the world. The modern world depends on these quiet fortresses of technology. Cloud computing, an elegant term for a complex reality, allows you to store information anywhere, at any time, without ever carrying a physical drive. You could be on a beach, in a cafe, or resting in bed, and your memories would still be there, waiting for you. When you upload a photo, send a document, or back up a video, it doesn't vanish into the sky. It travels through fiber optic cables, bouncing between servers until it finds a home in a data center somewhere in the world. That home might be in Iceland, cooled by Arctic winds, or in Singapore, where engineers use recycled water to maintain temperature, or deep underground in a decommissioned mine in Sweden, where thick stone walls keep the air cool. No matter where the data lands, it is mirrored across multiple locations, copies upon copies, ensuring that even if one server sleeps, another awakens instantly to take its place. Your memories are never in just one place. They are scattered across continents, protected by redundancy and resilience. Each digital file you send is transformed into code, strings of numbers and characters that can be reassembled anywhere. This is what allows cloud computing to seem effortless. Your photographs, your music, your private thoughts all turned into sequences of light and electricity, then stored in harmony with billions of others. The hum of servers, the rhythm of processors, the faint vibration of energy through the air, together they create a gentle symphony of digital life. Inside the cloud, information never sleeps. Somewhere, right now, a server is writing your data into memory, while another backs it up in real time. It happens faster than a blink, but so smoothly that it feels invisible. The process is both mechanical and poetic, a ballet of precision and patience. Engineers have crafted these systems with extraordinary care, building architectures that anticipate failure and overcome it before it occurs. When a hard drive breaks, the system repairs itself automatically. When a power source fades, backup generators hum to life in seconds. The network is designed to endure, to never let your digital essence fade. Think of all the lives intertwined through this invisible web. Billions of people share the same cloud. Students uploading essays, doctors saving medical scans, artists archiving their work, families storing photos of loved ones. All of it flows together, yet remains separate and secure. Each individual's information is wrapped in layers of protection, encrypted so thoroughly that only its rightful owner can unlock it. Encryption, though silent and unseen, is one of the great guardians of the modern world. It transforms your data into unreadable code, accessible only with specific digital keys. Without those keys, the information is nothing more than a shimmering mosaic of numbers. To human eyes, it looks like chaos. To the machines, it is a perfect pattern. This protection ensures that even as data travels across the world, it remains untouched, unseen, and safe. Inside these data centers, time feels different. There are no days or nights, no seasons or storms. The machines work the same in every moment, guided by electricity and algorithms loyal to their endless purpose. The lights blink in rhythm, the hum never ceases. Engineers sometimes describe the sound as comforting, a sign that everything is alive and functioning as it should. To them, silence would mean trouble, but to those who listen deeply, the hum itself feels like a form of silence. It is constant, predictable, steady. Cloud computing has become one of the most profound achievements of human innovation. It represents the merging of countless technologies: network engineering, cybersecurity, energy management, artificial intelligence, all working in harmony to create a seamless experience. Most of us never think about the complexity behind a simple act like opening an email. Yet that moment triggers an astonishing sequence of events, a request traveling through routers, packets of data finding their way to distant servers, encryption keys validating your identity, and a message being displayed instantly, as if it had been there all along. What once required massive machines and specialized rooms can now be done from the palm of your hand. A smartphone today communicates with data centers thousands of miles away, as though they were next door. The delay is so small, fractions of a second, that it feels immediate. This illusion of closeness is one of the wonders of the digital age. Behind every instant connection lies a symphony of computation and coordination that spans the entire planet. Inside the cloud, energy moves like water through an endless river of light. Electricity flows from generators to processors, powering billions of transistors that switch on and off at astonishing speed. Each transistor represents a decision, yes or no, on or off, 0 or 1. Together, they form the foundation of all digital life. The cloud breathes through these transistors, pulsing in waves of binary rhythm. Over the years, engineers have learned to make these systems more efficient, more sustainable, and more peaceful. Some data centers use wind or solar energy, others draw power from hydroelectric dams or geothermal heat. The goal is to create harmony between nature and machine, a balance between the digital and the organic. In Iceland, for example, cool air from the surrounding environment is funneled through data halls, eliminating the need for energy-hungry air conditioning. In other regions, advanced water cooling systems recycle liquid again and again, ensuring nothing goes to waste. To imagine all of this happening at once, around the world, is to glimpse the magnitude of the modern internet. It is not a single structure or system, but a vast, interconnected ecosystem. Every photo uploaded, every message sent, every search performed, each adds a droplet to the ocean of data, expanding the cloud's reach further into human life. This scale is so immense that no one person can see it all, yet it operates in perfect coordination. In the gentle hum of the cloud, there is serenity. Your digital self, composed of countless bits of information, drifts quietly among the billions. Your memories are no longer bound by place or object. They exist as light, pure, weightless, free. Somewhere, within the quiet hum of servers, the laughter of a family video, the words of an email, the chords of a song, and the pixels of a photograph coexist peacefully. Human emotion translated into electricity. There is something almost sacred about it. These machines, built from metal and code, hold the essence of human experience, our stories, our art, our achievements, our hopes. They hum not just for efficiency, but for connection. Each byte of data represents a moment someone cared enough to preserve. Every blinking light is a pulse of human intention. The cloud, in this sense, is not just a technical invention, it is a collective memory. As the night deepens, those machines continue their rhythm. Electricity flows through circuits like blood through veins. The servers communicate in silence, sending and receiving, copying and securing. Somewhere, a technician checks a readout, notes the perfect temperature, and smiles. Everything is running smoothly. The lights continue to blink in gentle patterns, unbothered by the world outside. Even now, as you rest and drift, the internet keeps breathing. Your digital presence continues to float through these networks, safe, secure, waiting for your return. The beauty of the cloud lies not only in what it does, but in how quietly it does it. All this activity, all this power, yet the experience feels effortless, almost invisible. The people who designed this system understood something profound. Technology can be both powerful and peaceful. It doesn't always have to roar or flash. It can hum softly, like a calm mind at rest. Every click you make, every word you send, every song you stream travels through this silent ocean of light, carried gently, preserved carefully. The next time you save a file, remember that somewhere, in a quiet building lit by rows of tiny LEDs, your information joins billions of others in an intricate dance of light and electricity. It will remain there, silent and secure, even as you dream. And though you may never see these places or hear their hums, their presence wraps gently around you every day. They keep your world connected. They make it possible for voices, ideas, and emotions to move freely through time and space. They are the calm heart of the internet, the steady rhythm beneath the chaos of life online. Inside the cloud, there is no noise, no hurry, no fear. Only quiet order. Only balance. And within that balance lies a reflection of our own desire for peace, the wish that everything, even in the vastness of technology, can exist in harmony. It's a reminder that the internet, though vast and mechanical, was born from human imagination, from the desire to connect, to share, to remember. And even within its endless code and circuitry, there remains a whisper of humanity, a soft promise that somewhere in all this data, we are never truly alone. Your data rests peacefully now, wrapped in light and electricity, drifting gently through the cloud. It will be there when you wake, untouched and waiting. And as the machines continue their timeless rhythm, the world above them sleeps, connected, calm, and safe within the gentle hum of the cloud. The future of calm technology unfolds like a slow sunrise, gentle, glowing, and filled with infinite potential. The world we are building is one where technology quietly harmonizes with nature rather than overpowering it. As we look ahead, we imagine an internet that breathes more softly, consumes less, and gives back more to the planet that sustains it. In this coming era, future networks will not only be faster, but profoundly more sustainable. Instead of vast energy demands echoing from metallic towers and power-hungry data centers, we will see systems that live in balance, powered by the sun, the wind, and even the warmth of the earth itself. The internet's heartbeat will become cleaner, its rhythm gentler. The same light that carries data will also carry hope for an age of harmony between progress and preservation. Engineers across the world are already experimenting with solar-powered data centers, enormous facilities that capture daylight, transforming it into the energy that fuels global communication. Imagine millions of shimmering panels reflecting the morning sun, powering the flow of information across continents. These centers may one day operate entirely off renewable energy, their roofs glittering beneath soft skies. The hum of their servers will be matched by the whisper of wind turbines and the silent movement of sunlight across their panels. Under the oceans, the next chapter of the internet's life is also being written. The idea of undersea fiber farms may sound like something from science fiction, but the concept is both real and promising. Engineers are designing submerged systems where data centers rest beneath the waves, cooled naturally by ocean currents, quietly drawing energy from tidal flows and thermal gradients. These marine networks could one day connect the planet in ways we can only imagine, pulsing with information beneath the sea like the veins of the Earth itself. In this new age, the relationship between technology and the planet will deepen. Every device, every signal, every whisper of digital life will become part of a greater ecosystem, not a strain upon it. The internet will still connect us, but it will also learn to respect the environment that nurtures us. Energy will flow gently, efficiently, intelligently. Artificial intelligence, that quiet student of patterns and precision, is already helping make this dream possible. In today's data centers, AI-driven cooling systems constantly analyze temperature, humidity, and air circulation. They learn how to move air more efficiently, how to reduce waste, how to use less power while keeping systems safe. These intelligent guardians make tiny adjustments every second, closing vents, redirecting airflow, optimizing cooling before heat even becomes a problem. Through them, machines are learning to breathe like living beings, conserving energy in a graceful, mindful way. In the near future, this intelligence will expand even further. Imagine AI systems that manage entire energy grids, balancing millions of tiny needs across cities and countries. Each decision, each adjustment will be made in a fraction of a second, all guided by a calm, learning rhythm. Energy will be distributed where it's needed most, stored when not in use, and recycled in endless, balanced cycles. Technology will become an extension of nature's own design, adaptive, aware, and quietly alive. But sustainability is just one part of the vision. The next frontier of connection lies in a deeper kind of communication, one that transcends the physical limits of wires, waves, and even time. Researchers are now exploring something extraordinary: the quantum internet. Unlike the digital internet we know, which sends information through electrical or light pulses, quantum communication uses the mysterious properties of quantum mechanics, where particles can exist in two states at once, and where information can be instantly linked across great distances. In this emerging world, two particles can be entangled, meaning their states remain connected even if separated by vast distances. When one changes, the other changes instantly, no matter how far apart they are. Scientists dream that one day this principle could allow us to send data without delay, without lag, and without the need for physical transmission. It's as if information could travel by thought, instantaneous, silent, and infinite. Imagine a world where messages reach across continents in the same breath they are sent, where video calls, file transfers, and even entire networks happen with no sense of waiting, no delay, no spinning icons of buffering. Quantum internet would make communication almost organic, as natural and immediate as speaking to someone beside you. This level of connection would change everything, from science to art, from education to medicine. And yet, even in its immense power, it would still operate quietly, invisible, efficient, and serene. The quantum future may also bring a new kind of security. In the strange laws of quantum physics, observation changes reality. If someone tries to intercept a quantum signal, the very act of observing it would alter the information, alerting both sender and receiver. In this way, the quantum internet could become unhackable, the safest, most private form of communication ever created. A network protected not by firewalls or passwords, but by the fundamental rules of the universe. Beyond quantum lies something even more wondrous, the dream of interplanetary connection. Researchers from NASA and other space agencies are already testing communication systems that could one day link Earth with the Moon, Mars, and beyond. This interplanetary internet would not be a metaphor, it would be real, tangible, and vast. Using laser communication and advanced satellites, humanity could stay connected across the solar system, transmitting data between worlds as easily as we send messages across cities today. Imagine astronauts on Mars sending high-definition video back to Earth. Imagine scientists on lunar bases sharing research with teams in orbit. Imagine families speaking across millions of miles, their voices traveling not through sound waves but through beams of pure light. The distances are immense, but the vision is clear. One connected solar system where every human and every machine shares the same silent pulse of information. This vision is not so distant as it seems. Experiments are already underway, lasers transmitting terabytes of data through the vacuum of space, satellites orbiting Earth in harmony, creating a digital bridge between planets. One day, these efforts may stretch even further, from Mars to the moons of Jupiter, perhaps even to interstellar probes carrying humanity's signal into the galaxy. The network will grow, but its tone will remain gentle, a quiet cosmic hum linking life across the stars. Such a network would redefine what connection means. No longer bound to geography or distance, the internet would become a universal web of knowledge, consciousness, and collaboration. It would be as if the universe itself were learning to think, every node a neuron, every signal a spark of understanding. And just as the brain hums quietly while it dreams, so too would this network hum through the darkness of space, a low and constant lullaby of light. But until that day, the internet of our present moment continues to hum softly around us. It exists in every city, every forest, every ocean depth, invisible, tireless, and full of human stories. Each vibration in a fiber optic line carries thoughts, emotions, laughter, and hope. Every digital signal that leaves your device travels through the same invisible pathways that connect billions of people. It's a constant stream of human imagination, pulsing in the quiet night. The network around you is alive, not in the biological sense, but in its rhythm, in its movement, in its purpose. It learns from us. It grows with us. It reflects who we are, our curiosity, our longing for understanding, our desire to stay connected even when oceans separate us. Each new breakthrough, each quiet improvement, brings us closer to a world where technology no longer feels separate from life, but part of its natural flow. As AI continues to evolve, we may see it merge seamlessly with our world. The boundary between human intention and digital assistance will blur. Smart devices will become intuitive companions, understanding our moods, predicting our needs, and operating quietly in the background. They will become invisible helpers, freeing our minds to focus on creativity, rest, and peace. Technology will fade into the environment, walls that glow with subtle information, furniture that adjusts to comfort, rooms that breathe with soft light and balanced air. The future of calm technology is one of integration, not intrusion. In cities, this evolution will transform daily life. Urban environments may one day hum with networks of calm intelligence, self-regulating systems that control traffic, lighting, and temperature while using minimal energy. Buildings will generate their own power, store it efficiently, and share it with neighboring structures. Streetlights will dim when the moon is bright. Windows will tint gently as the sun rises. Even the hum of electricity will soften, replaced by renewable flows that align with the natural rhythm of the earth. In homes, the same principle will bring tranquility. Instead of endless notifications and screens demanding attention, technology will learn silence. Devices will respond when needed and rest when not. A refrigerator will quietly adjust its temperature based on what you've stored inside. A heating system will learn your comfort patterns, maintaining warmth without waste. Each interaction will feel organic, peaceful, a return to balance between digital life and human life. And far beyond our homes, the great network itself, the global web, will move toward consciousness. Not in a human sense, but in a distributed, reflective way. Billions of nodes will collaborate to maintain balance, efficiency, and awareness. Systems will heal themselves, reroute data automatically, and prevent breakdowns before they happen. The internet will become less like a machine and more like a living forest, complex, self-sustaining, and full of quiet intelligence. As all these transformations unfold, the human role remains central. Every innovation begins with curiosity, with the simple question, what if? It's the same question that led to the first spark of connection decades ago. The same question that sent our signals through space. And it will continue guiding us as we build a future where progress hums softly beside us, where information flows like water, and where every connection, digital or human, is a step toward unity. In this calm future, technology becomes a companion to mindfulness, not a distraction from it. Imagine sitting beneath a tree, surrounded by gentle nature and yet still connected to infinite knowledge through invisible streams of data. Imagine learning, meditating, and dreaming while technology operates silently in the background, supporting rather than interrupting. The line between science and serenity will fade until they become one. Perhaps one day, when humanity looks back on this age of noise and urgency, we will see it as the adolescence of technology, a necessary stage of growth before it learned stillness. The mature internet, the calm internet, will be one that hums quietly in harmony with life. It will be powered by clean energy, protected by intelligent systems, and guided by human compassion. Every byte, every photon, will carry with it the same message: connection, understanding, peace. So as the world moves toward this luminous horizon, remember that every small innovation, every improvement in energy use, every advance in AI efficiency, every new strand of fiber beneath the sea is part of a much larger journey. A journey toward a world where the network that connects us all becomes as natural and gentle as the air we breathe. The future of calm technology is not loud. It doesn't announce itself with flashing lights or sudden revolutions. It grows quietly, patiently, in laboratories, in data centers, in the curious minds of dreamers. It's built one gentle discovery at a time, one mindful improvement after another. It's shaped by those who believe that progress can be peaceful, that science can be soothing, and that the hum of a machine can be as calming as the sound of rain. And as you drift deeper into relaxation, you can imagine this world glowing softly beneath the stars, humming with balance, harmony, and light. A network that connects not only machines and data, but souls and dreams. A technology that serves without demanding, that gives without taking, that simply exists, calm, present, eternal. Until that day fully arrives, the quiet network around you continues to hum, a gentle lullaby of code and light, softly weaving through the night. It carries messages of connection and care flowing through fibers, satellites, and hearts. It reminds us that even in the vast web of technology, there is still peace, still stillness, still serenity. And in that stillness, you can rest. You can breathe. You can drift, knowing the world continues to connect. Quietly, calmly, beautifully, you've now drifted through the vast digital ocean, learning how the internet, this invisible web of light, code, and connection, quietly keeps our world together. From deep-sea cables to glowing data centers, from binary whispers to the vast cloud above us, you've explored how humanity speaks through light. Take another deep breath, and as you exhale, let go of all remaining tension. The internet will keep flowing. Even as you rest. Even as you dream. You are connected. You are calm. You are safe. Thank you for joining this peaceful journey on Sleepy Science Tech. If you enjoyed this calm exploration, consider subscribing for more relaxing sleep-friendly science and futuristic tech documentaries. Good night, Milky Way, and sweet dreams in the cloud.